Thank you, gentlemen. Good evening. Welcome to the Forte Hotel, Glasgow, the home of Scottish boxing. Tonight we present a programme of international professional boxing presented by the St Andrews Sporting Club under licence to the British Boxing Board of Control. The first contest on the programme is an international super featherweight contest made at 9 stone 6 pounds over 6 two-minute rounds. Presenting and introducing on my right and in the blue corner, will you welcome please from Stirling, Hugh Collins. And on my left, gentlemen, in the red corner, also my very great pleasure to present and introduce from Newcastle, Colin Innes. At the weigh-in at 12 o'clock today, both boxers scale exactly 9 stone 7 pounds. Your referee for this contest, Mr. Len Mullen of Glasgow. Your timekeeper, Mr. Jim Russell, also of Glasgow. Collins, blue corner, Innes, red corner.
Hugh Collins from Stirling in those khaki-coloured shorts, I suppose you'd say, against Colin Innes from Newcastle, not too far over the border. Innes wearing the black trunks with the white stripe. Hugh Collins, who turned pro quite late in life, he's 24, he's only had 3 pro fights, but he's won them all. But here in Colin Innes, he faces a man who's had a lot more experience than he has, although, to be fair, Innes hasn't had too much success of late. And Collins already putting fast punches together and getting through the defences of the Geordie. This man from Newcastle has won only 1 of his last 11 fights. Two-minute rounds, 6 of them to go, if it goes that far. But all 3 of Collins' pro fights so far have all gone the distance. Nice, neat punches underneath to the body there from Collins, working away under the guard. Got through again, straight through the defence with 2 good rights. Quite an impressive opening by Hugh Collins, the boy from Stirling. Collins raising his hands and celebrating the opening round, and it was a pretty good round for him too. Almost everything he threw got through, and Colin Innes from Newcastle was in all sorts of trouble all the way through.
Yes, very nice combination punching here from Collins. I think Innes is a little bit disheartened after that first round, and I can't see it going to 6 at the moment. He looked a little bit worse for wear going back to the corner, and I think he's disheartened. Some nice solid shots coming from Collins. Very strong. Yeah, left, right, good shots.
Pat Clinton, thank you. Here we go, second round.
Second out, round 2.
I think Pat was right about Innes being disheartened. He's also quite marked around the eyes. Innes from Newcastle, wearing the magpie colours of Newcastle United, black and white. Is a man who is accustomed to having quite hard fights, and in fact, 2 of his last 3 fights have produced quite considerable nobbins. Now, nobbins is what the punters throw in the ring if they like a fight and they throw money in. And he's had 2 fights recently, and one got £72 thrown in and the other got 50 quid thrown in. And the fighters share that money. So he's a gutsy fighter. Hugh Collins, winner of all 3 pro fights so far, 24 years old, against this 29-year-old opponent from Newcastle. And again, Collins making the running and making most of the punches tell. Bearing in mind that Innes is a man who's used to going the distance, Collins will need to be careful here not to spend too much energy in these opening rounds. He doesn't want to tire himself out and then have nothing left when the other man might just keep going. But quite clearly, the first 2 rounds have gone to the Scots boy. I think Pat would agree with that.
Yes, I think he's actually shoving Innes around. I think he's actually too strong for him. He's hitting him a couple of left hooks, like left hooks to the body, left hooks to the head, bringing a chopping right hand down. And even when he's missing and they're getting in a triangle, he's actually throwing him around the ring as well. I just think he's too strong for him, and I would like to see him stepping out of the pace a little bit in the 3rd round and hopefully going for a knockout.
Well, here's the record. Hugh Collins, as I said, 3 contests, 3 wins. Weighed exactly 9 stone 7 tonight, which in fact is a pound over the weight at which this match was made, but they both weighed 9-7, so it didn't matter.
Seconds out, round 3.
Hugh Collins from Stirling, wearing those khaki-coloured shorts. The unbeaten youngster, 24 years old, from Stirling, against the man from Newcastle, Colin Innes, who's had 20 professional fights, but only won 7 of them, and only won 2 of those inside the 3 of those inside the distance. Still doing most of the leading. Innes apparently quite prepared to stand there and take it and hopefully come back with something. Occasionally he gets the left hand working into the body, and he might just yet still prove to be a difficult opponent. He's so accustomed to having these sort of wars, Innes, that Collins shouldn't get too confident about this. He just needs to keep on top and box carefully. Shouldn't take any chances with this man. Coming to the end of the 3rd, Collins still well on top, but the other man's still putting up occasionally quite a spirited resistance.
Next step back.
So 3 rounds, that's halfway. They've all gone by, and Lem Mullin, the referee, I suspect will have all 3 rounds marked down to the other man. This is the boy from Newcastle, Colin Innes. And 29 years old. Been a pro since 1990. There's the record. Just 7 wins, 11 defeats. Most of those 7 wins came in the very early part of his career. In fact, he won 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 of his first 9 fights, but it's not been as good since.
Yes, I can see why Nobman's thrown into the ring. He's very resistant. He's putting up a good show, but the young fella's just a little bit too strong for him and beginning to push him around. It's still a good entertaining fight for the crowd, and it's a crowd pleaser, and hopefully we'll get some Nobbins thrown in tonight as well.
Nobbins in Scotland? You must be joking.
Well, actually, I have done it in here once or twice before, Harry.
You wouldn't get him in Aberdeen, that's for sure. Hugh Collins from Stirling in those green, almost khaki-coloured shorts. And this experienced campaigner, and one has to say, very brave man from Newcastle, who really never has an easy fight. Wouldn't know what it is. Every time he goes in the ring, he has this sort of battle against, I suppose, younger and more proficient opponents. He's what's known in the game as a trial horse, and that's no easy life. It's the sort of man you've got to get past if you're going anywhere in this game.
Yes, it's still a good testing fight for Collins because only his 4th professional fight. The fella's at 20. He knows what it's all about, and it's a good test for him.
Next time, Mike.
Innes occasionally has quite good spells. Once Collins eases up a bit, Innes comes into his own. So Collins mustn't ease up, and he's got to keep on top of him and still be the governor. But he's got a hell of a lead now. And I think the time has come when Innes really has got to think in terms of stopping him. He can't outpoint him.
I can't see that happening because I don't think he's really strong enough for Collins. I mean, he's a gutsy fella and he's put up a tremendous performance.
But you see, Pat, you're a man who's more accustomed to being up the top of the tree, but you've got to say it's a hard life being a fellow like Colin Innes, who really has these sort of fights all the time when he's always the underdog and always having trouble.
Well, I mean, for boxing's my bread and butter, but for these guys, I mean, I don't know how they keep coming back and keep fighting. I mean, there's no success at the end of the day for those fellas, but they enjoy it. I mean, that's why they must do it. I mean, it must be in their blood. They must love the sport, and just the occasional win maybe gives them a good boost.
Hard life, and that's what boxing is about. This is Colin Innes from Newcastle. How would you like to do that for a living?
Almost 10 seconds. Seconds out. Round 5.
So 2 rounds to go, 2 2-minute rounds left, with Collins, one assumes, well in front, and for Innes, everything to do. His last win was not that long ago, actually, Innes. He won in Newcastle, his own town, his own city. In November, he had a 6-round points win over Gary Burrell. And that was when the Newcastle crowd threw 50 quid into the ring afterwards in appreciation. Since then, he's had a defeat against Norman Darley, who's quite a useful fighter. That was up in Bradford. One low punch there from Innes, but the referee said nothing. Left hand just slipped low. Round 5. Collins has made the running throughout and looks like marking up his 4th successive professional win, but it does look as though it's going to go all the way again, as the other 3 did.
think Ennis is just tiring a little bit. He's been caught one or two good left hooks in this, and actually shown he's flinched once or twice. Good two left hooks have been hit by Collins, and he's shown that he's just blowing a little bit in this round.
Yeah, quite right, Pat.
Beautiful shot.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That was well read, Pat. You saw it coming. And I think Len Mullen, the referee, did too. He had a look in Colin Innes's face just before that knockdown, just to see if he was okay. There's the end of the 5th round, and the first knockdown occurred in that round. Innes, feeling obviously very tired, was dropped, but he's going to come out for the final round. Here's the knockdown again, we can see it. Innes in the black and white trunks. I think it was the left of the body, wasn't it? Did the trick?
Left to the rib cage, under his right arm. Took a one straight draw to his knees. But it was actually in the cards before that, because it hit him 2 left hooks beforehand, and I could see the flinching from Innes's face, and another good punch there, and that's what done the damage.
Well, Innes is going to come out for the final round. These 2 minutes are going to seem very long to him.
Seconds out, 6, last round.
Colin Innes in the black and white trunks against the boy from Stirling, seeking his 4th successive professional win. Hugh Collins, 24 years old, who dropped Innes in the 5th round and might just do it again here.
A good win for him to stop him within the distance, because I don't think there's many people stopped this fella Innes. He seems to go the distance. I think only once he's been stopped, so it'd be a good win for him at this stage of his career.
Innes still trying to box. You have to admire the courage of the man. He's standing up and trying to box, but the strength and youth of the other man, always a bit too good for him. Halfway through the final round, and the punishment continues to rain on Colin Innes, and he continues to take it bravely. Right to the head, and Innes goes inside to get a breather, such as it is. But it looks as though he'll struggle through somehow to get to the belt. Half a minute. And to his credit, the man from Newcastle still trying to fight back, but only one winner, and that's the boy from Stirling, Hugh Collins, as we come to the final bell. Well, it's a good scrap, and Len Mullen lifts the arms of Hugh Collins, who marks up his 4th successive professional win, and a good win on points again against a very tough opponent who isn't beaten easily.
A good contest to start the evening for the nice punters here.
Thank you. Well, gentlemen, the referee scores the contest. Collins, 60 points. Innes, 57.5 points. Collins, blue corner, the winner. Now, gentlemen, you've claimed the winner. I'm sure you'd like to show your appreciation. The sporting loser in the red corner, Colin Innes.